Hey guys, Dempsey here. Now, I know this is kind of random, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, but yes, today we are going to be talking about a TV episode. But not just any TV episode, okay? Today we're going to be talking about an episode from the brand new reboot of the Twilight Zone series from Jordan Peele. And I know I just finished reviewing his movie last week, but this show, so far, it seems to me like it's on a totally different plane, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit, but yeah, I just needed to get this off my chest because this episode, the episode in particular that I'm talking about, was just so incredible. And the episode that I'm talking about in particular is Nightmare at 30,000 Feet, which is actually a remake, or a reimagining, more accurately, a reimagining of the iconic episode Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which was written by Richard Matheson, directed by Richard Donner, and starring, it wasn't starring Richard, I'll tell you that much, it was starring Captain Kirk, William Shatner himself, okay? And as I said before, this episode is iconic. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the series, the original Twilight Zone series, I highly recommend you please check that out. It's one of the greatest shows of all time. It's actually on Netflix. Well, most of the episodes are actually on Netflix, so you can definitely check it out there. But, yeah. Wow. Just wow. Now, I was excited for this show, and more specifically this episode, just because, you know, The Twilight Zone is one of my favorite shows of all time, and this episode is one of my favorite episodes from that show. And admittedly, it's not the first episode of the series. There's actually one that comes before it, but it's an anthology series, so I don't really think it matters the order you watch the episodes, so I decided to start with this one, and I'm absolutely going to go back and watch the other one. It's actually available for free on YouTube. I don't know how long it's going to be available for free, but I'm definitely going to check it out after I finish this review. And yeah, this episode, it stars Adam Scott, actually, as our protagonist, who proves that he's not just comedic. Okay, this guy is so good, and this is so different and fresh for him, especially after seeing him in things like Parks and Recreation. And he actually stars as an investigative journalist who is on a plane that is supposed to disappear, and he's informed that it's supposed to disappear, and he has to figure out how it's going to disappear. And that's all I'm really going to say. If you have seen the original, it's very different from the original, but it's different in a very, very interesting and relevant way. The original focuses a lot more on mental health. Not to say that this one doesn't. This one does in a certain way, but the original also focuses on the horrors that are outside the plane, the horrors out there in the real world that can get us, right? Especially where we're most vulnerable, when we're closed in. What I liked about this one was that it kind of flips the script a bit, and it focuses more on the horrors inside the plane. You know, the horrors most closest to us. And I really felt like where it scored big was that it capitalized on the post 9/11 society. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because this thing was so good. Please believe me when I say that. It was really, really well done. Now, despite this being a modernized take on the original, I like the fact that it paid homage to it as well. There are tons of Easter eggs for you to pick out, and fans of Twilight Zone in general to just appreciate, but there are also visual homages as well. And essentially what I mean is that the same stuff that Richard Donner does in the original, the director of this one also does. We get plenty of, you know, really good close-ups, probably a little blurry, sorry about that, especially some really tight and quick ones like that. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god, it's so late. I'm so tired. But yeah, I really, oh my god, they're so good, they're so effective. They are a part of why I really enjoyed this episode again, because it managed to take the suspense that you feel from that old episode. And I know it's odd to think that, you know, something classical could be as suspenseful, but trust me, the original is suspenseful, and this one just takes it and just maximizes it. And I guess that's why they call it 30,000 feet instead of 20,000 feet, right? Wow. That probably is why they did that, now that I think about that. But yeah, despite me absolutely, enjoying this, there were some issues that I had with it. The main issue is actually just a personal one, and that is that I really wish that it would have been a little bit longer. Not to say that it's not good in the runtime that it is. I think currently it's like 36, 37 minutes, but it felt like a movie, and it was just like really going, and it got me really hooked, and I just wanted more. Okay, so I mean that in the best way possible. And the actual original episode is like 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, and this one's not that far over that, but still, they managed to cram a lot into it, and that leads me into my next issue, kind of, that goes hand in hand with the runtime, and that is the pacing issues. I felt like it had a little bit of pacing issues at the very beginning, some that I felt could have been relieved or adjusted had it been, just extended a little bit more. But trust me, as soon as this episode gets rolling to the core of the plot, it soars. Okay, this episode is so good. It really does take off. Pun intended. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I guess if I had to give it a rating, like a movie review rating, I would probably give it 4.5 stars.
This is real, and I have evidence to prove what's going on here.
It was so good. I'm not even kidding. I really like this show, and like I said, I cannot wait to watch the other episode. This is probably going to be my new favorite show, and I will probably try and crank out a few more of these, especially if you guys like them. So if you do, please let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you've seen the episode yourself and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Okay, if you have theories, not to say that there, isn't too much room for theories, but I'm definitely interested to see what people took away from this, just because of how allegorical it is. I love it. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. And yeah, I really, I apologize for, the roughness of this video. It's actually kind of an abrupt thing. Like I said, I just needed to pull my camera out and just talk about it because I enjoyed it that much. And I'm actually kind of glad I did it because, I was kind of wanting to segue into doing this kind of stuff on my channel. I know I mentioned a while back that I wanted to do TV reviews or TV season reviews, stuff like that. So I think this might be the way to segue into that. But we'll see, okay? Once again, if you guys want to see it, just let me know. But I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for watching this. It means the world to me that you took the time out of your day to watch it. And be on the lookout for my movie review for Dumbo later this week. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, I'm Dempsey Palat. Take care.